Valley Club, yesterday there was a conference call with the envoys and the devs of Marvel Strike Force, including General Manager Ryan Jacobson. Some good, some bad. We also have a blog post regarding the future of character releases. A lot of changes happening, so there's definitely been a lot of pushback from the community with any change. If you're ready to see what is happening though, then you know what to do, Valley Club. Find that like button and let's go smash it! Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. Hope you are having a great day. In this video, we're discussing the major topics that we are able to discuss from a conference call with the general manager of Marvel Strike Force, Ryan Jacobson. We're discussing that and the brand new blog post about the future of character releases. Now, there's some things that we're not able to discuss from the call. They said we're not able to discuss any numbers. So I'm going to be using vague numbers because they said not to use any numbers from the call. I'm not sure if that's talking about dates, if you're talking about dollar amounts, if they're talking about percentage of increase of the character shards. So I'm just not going to use any numbers in this video. So that's why it's not listed. We're also not able to discuss any future characters, any future character releases or anything like that. So that's not going to be discussed in this video. And if you've been following this channel for a while, you know that I generally try to look on the positive side of things, finding the silver lining in the dark clouds that come. And generally that's kind of how I've looked at Marvel Strike Force. No matter how bad things are, I try to generally look at the good side of what is coming and the good of what is happening. So that's probably going to be my take in this video. You know, I generally looking at the positive side of things, looking forward to things. And a lot of times I have a wait and see approach because in the game, they show this history that even when things look bad, they generally, when they're released, they're either not as bad as a lot of people expected, especially myself, or they aren't as bad and they switch things. So I'm gonna have a more positive take than a lot of other content creators, so keep that in mind. That's just kind of how I am. And before we get to everything else in the call and the review of this blog post, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button for more Marvel Strike Force content. Minimum of 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week in the channel. Usually during the weekdays, we have a video out. Sometimes there's more than one video. We got reveal videos like this, news videos, question and answer videos, everything up your experience in Marvel Strike Force. But let's get into this blog post. And before we get into everything in this blog post, I do want to cover a few points that the devs did discuss. First, they talked about the releases specifically for the Illuminati and the Annihilators, more so the Illuminati. And their data did show that their free-to-play players had more access to the shards than before. Not sure if that was from those illumination orbs that we got from Shuri and Hank Pym, or if that was from players spending power cords. They were not clear with that, but they did have some percentage of players, the amount of character shards that players got before the Illuminati release and then after, and it was an increase. But the power cord spending and anything like that, the FOMO that players had was not taken into account. They also say that the orbs during the Illuminati event did their intention, which was to give more access to free-to-play beginner players to these newer characters. And while it did kind of, while they didn't get those release events till later, and we didn't get a lot of shards till later, they did want to get these earlier access. So I think that is what is coming with this. Now, there's not a lot of specific wording in this blog post as well. And what they did say that they're very careful with the wording that they use and what they put out to the community, because once they commit things, they're kind of set in stone. They can't really walk back on things without a lot of huge backlash from the community. So there's no general dates. There's no timelines for these characters. There's no specific times of when these characters are going to have these released, because they did mention a timeline on the call, but they said sometimes that timeline will be extended and there may be a character or two that go past that. But they also mentioned that on the short end of that, other characters would be coming in sooner than that. So no distinct timeline for when characters could be released. And while they do want to give more access to free-to-play players, more shards to everybody, they also mentioned that Marvel Strike Force is a business and they have to do things with the long term in mind, keeping this game running for the next 5 to 10 years, which is why we've had a lot of back-end changes recently. The graphics update is still kind of going on right now. We had the over-the-air changes, some more linking with the MarvelStrikeForce.com. So they're working a lot of the back-end stuff. And they're still trying to figure out a lot of things, trying to figure out how many shards they're giving to players in X amount of time. Not sure how many shards they're giving to unlock tunes. We're talking about the lower star unlocks for characters, the 1 to 2 star unlocks, just to give players the character. But what they said is that they want it to feel more special and these characters to actually do something, because at a low star, a lot of these characters are kind of useless. Even some of these good characters are very useless at 1 or 2 stars. So they want to aim for more 3 to 4 star unlocks, which may be a problem down the road. But I guess if it's their intention is to get these characters useful, I guess that is a thing. I do like the lower star character releases though, because even if they're not useful, I can still start working the gear and leveling them up. So I do hope that is something that they go back on. And what the blog post says, during the 6-year history of Marvel Strike Force, we've released non-legendary mythic characters in a number of different ways. Event campaigns, blitz, web, milestones, scourges, and most really these month-long events. We're all trying to find fun and engaging new ways for our players to get the newest characters, while also making sure that no matter your playstyle, you can obtain these characters that you want. Some of these methods have been more successful than others, and we thank the community for making their voice heard, invaluable feedback over the years as we've iterated. So what does this all mean? So we're updating our character release method for traditional characters. This does not apply to mythic, epic, or legendaries. That, as far as I know, is not changing. So those are still going to be tough to get. But our goal is to ensure that you unlock the new characters in an engaging way through daily play. We believe our approach will help you achieve that. So you've been earning new characters throughout engagement through meaningful way by playing every day. And that's kind of what happened with the Illuminati and the Annihilators. Just by playing every day, you're getting some of those Illuminati orb fragments, which were pretty bad. Annihilator orb fragments, pretty bad. Rest assured, on day one, everyone has a chance to get the new character, which is that very small percent drop rate. In all of these orbs right now, there is a small percent chance to get that jackpot, that 100-shard jackpot, which gets you the unlock. So everybody's gonna get a chance to get it. It's gonna be a low chance, but they're gonna have a chance. There will be multiple ways to unlock characters throughout the month, primarily through engagement, and that's what they're saying, different ways to unlock these characters. So it's gonna be more of a drip type effect rather than just this surge and then nothing, which was the release method previously, right? We got the release method for characters, got the unlock, they were kind of useless for a while, and then we never knew when they would be farmable. So this is better than that, because now they're still committed to release characters 7 stars for highly engaged players within 6 months. And from what I heard in the call, it sounded like they're trying to get away from players that log in 1 or 2 times a week to get this super good character and to beat everybody that's logging in every day. So I think that's why they're shifting to this method, is they want to kind of reward highly engaged players, although we are getting these characters unlocked a lot later. Now, there's going to be 2 main accessibility methods. Previously, we just had that release event, and then they would be farmable eventually. Now we've had kind of a release event, and then slowly dripping these characters over time. And these release events have gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. The drips over time have gotten bigger. But I think as long as they're still committing to this 6 months, 7 stars for highly engaged players, that is a good thing. Now, the path to new characters, phase 1. As you've already seen from our recent blog, the Orcus team, we're calling the new release the path to event. Path to events are going to be phase 1 of a character release, where all players are encouraged to initially unlock a new character by engaging with the game throughout an entire week. So that's kind of what, like I said, we've had with the Illuminati. We've had that with the Annihilators playing in your arena battles. Did get you that phase 1 sort of I guess it's not an unlock, but that phase 1 path. Consider there's a release event for new characters. However, this may not come in the shape of milestones we're familiar with. So yeah, they're changing these release events. I guess these orbs are being called the release events, but there's also going to be a phase 2 coming later for a lot of these characters. Now, each path to release event character obtained through daily engagement in various game modes, and some surprises, hopefully some surprises like Decimal Jeff screw-ups or something. We get some free shards or some extra shards like Shattered Dimension that we got for that screw-up. Or just some good surprise, like they give some bonus calendars or some bonus just free claims, stuff like that. Players earn new character shards from these throughout phase 1, which will be added to unlocking character during phase 1 or phase 2. So not necessarily getting it unlocked during this phase 1 here anymore. I know that doesn't feel good. And I think a lot of the pushback to the release events for Illuminati and Annihilators came with the lack of communication that there is a phase 1 and phase 2 instead of just that release event. And because of some of these events, there was a temporal dimension for the Illuminati release that got changed. There was a shattered dimension for the Annihilators release event that got changed. And what Ryan Jacobson said when they did make the change, that cosmic characters were supposed to be added to all of them, not just most of them, and missing this master section here. So some of the feedback that we gave was warranted, especially in the initial requirements. But some of the feedback that we had after this, like why didn't they change everything, was kind of a miscommunication. He wanted Cosmic in all of these. And what he did commit to, this was not a good look for them. They don't want this game to be pay to play. So going forward, what they want to do is anytime they have events that require these characters that hadn't been through phase 2 or players haven't unlocked, they're not going to be required. So they did say that they're not going to be doing events like this that require characters that aren't phase 1. It's not mentioned here, but I did want to mention that because I think that is a very important point from the call that's not mentioned here. And they also say we want in phase 1 to feel like you're continually making progress towards the new characters. And you are, but for me, I'd rather have that unlock and then continually make progress towards getting them to 7 stars rather than continually getting progress to that unlock. It doesn't feel good. But again, like I said, if they're not making these characters required a slow drip, I don't mind it as much. It is kind of annoying. I'd rather get these characters unlocked right away and then work towards building them higher and working towards building them usable. But they're going in a different direction. They are open to feedback, as they always are. So I guess whatever the community wants is what they'll end up doing. Now, phase 2 power-up opportunities. Phase 2 is comprised of various power-up moments. These opportunities may overlap with phase 1 or follow the conclusion of phase 1 path to unlocking a character. Shards for the characters of the teams will still be made available in other ways, whether through events, a battle pass, strike pass, milestone. Details will vary, so keep an eye on official blogs for info. Phase 2 is a great way to finish unlocking a character, powering one up further. So again, not a lot of details on specific timelines here. They did want to avoid that. They don't want anything set in stone in case something comes later or before that. They don't want to be locked into specific time frames. They did give us time frame on the call, but they don't want to make that public because, like I said, they don't want to be locked into that and have that be like gospel. All right, additional character accessibility. In addition to phase 1 and phase 2 efforts, which are at least one character within 30 days after character's launch, we've made accessible through engagement. Now, I did think they said this one per team. It's probably going to be one per release though, because I know sometimes there's only certain characters per team, and they split up teams before. So they did say per team, one character per team, but it could be per release. We'll still have that traditional release method. For now, this will likely come in the form of character shards and a milestone. However, continue to experiment, find new fun, engaging ways to deliver. And I think that's the big thing here. They're still experimenting with things. And looking ahead, we'll be monitoring the path to events closely through the Orcus release and beyond. Our team will be trying different new release methods of characters along the way. We endeavored for providing details and information on these upcoming releases in the way of an official blog. Thanks for your continued passion and support. And what they did mention with the Illuminati team, they're looking at certain benchmarks of how many players have these characters unlocked at X amount of days, and then another X amount of days, another X amount of days. Not sure if I'm supposed to mention those days, so I'm not mentioning the video just so I don't break any NDAs, but they do have certain benchmarks. And last but not least, we did get an update on moments. Now, moments, as you may have seen in Datamize, looks like it's just a placeholder. Doesn't look like it's anything right now. And the reason for that is there's some internal debate on what they want moments to be. What moments was previously described as, he said, was from the old regime, and they said that was kind of outdated, so they want to do something new. And there's a couple departments that are kind of debating on what they want moments to be. So it's probably not anything soon, probably not going to be tied to Battle World, because Battle World is still scheduled for Q4 of 2024. So that is what is changing with character releases. And one thing that the devs did say, they never actually set in stone or said that character releases would be X amount of days after the character would be made available to pay-to-play players. So this isn't technically changing anything from a set-in-stone type standpoint, but it does change the way that we've been releasing characters for the previous 5.5 years or so. And personally, I'm most happy that they're communicating this with us. I think more communication is better than less communication. I'm kind of a wait and see how this is actually going to play out and how their numbers going to work out. But what I do like is they're continuing to monitor things, and they will tinker with things and change things until the players are happy. So even if things aren't good at launch and players aren't as happy, they do show that they want to make the players happy and will change things. So let me know your thoughts on all these changes. Hopefully you got some value from this video. And if you did, leave the video a like. It is free for you, tremendously helps out the channel. And if you want to check out what are the best characters to put some purple ISO 8 on in preparation for Dark Dimension 8, check out the video up there, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out!